Hi, and welcome to the Path of Exile patch 0.10.2 pre-release overview. Today we'll be discussing a new skill, changes to the Poison Arrow and Fire Trap abilities, buffs to various skills, changes to the Duelist starting skill tree, and more. With the open beta of Path of Exile well underway, Grinding Gear Games has announced their update plans for Path of Exile. Starting March 6th or 7th, the 0.10.2 patch should be released. This will be the first of weekly content updates for Path of Exile. Grinding Gear Games is aiming for each of these patches to have a new skill, 3 unique items from Diamond supporters, as well as any other new microtransaction or content features that were finalized during that week. As things stand right now, Firecasters are kind of in a rough spot, as they don't really have a lot of options as far as spell choices. Fireball is great, it's a nice single target, low level ability, and Firestorm, a targetable AoE ability, are really the only options available to Firecasters until much later in the game, when Fire Totem becomes available. Since Fire Totem doesn't become available until level 31, which will generally be after playing through the game entirely on normal difficulty, a new intelligence-based skill is being added. The new skill, called Incinerate, is going to cause your character to launch a torrent of fire from its hands, and the longer you hold the skill down casting from the same location, the larger and more damaging the flames become. There are 4 stages total, with each stage increasing the power and effectiveness of the ability. There is a trade-off, however, as in order to get the maximum power out of Incinerate, you do have to stand still, which will pose some issues as you generally don't want to be standing there with monsters attacking you. Poison Arrow and Fire Trap are receiving some nerfs at low levels. Currently, Poison Arrow and Fire Trap are pretty much hands down the best skills at low levels. Poison Arrow allows you to employ hit and run tactics where a couple arrows shot into a group of mobs and you can continue running away, but then due to the poison cloud created by Poison Arrow, the mobs all die. So you're getting experience for kills while never really stopping, which almost no other skill in the game allows you to do at low levels. Fire Trap is also being adjusted. While not quite as powerful for on-the-move fighting like Poison Arrow, it does have a lot of uses, especially for boss fights early on, where you can throw it down and anything in the area again is taking damage and will eventually die if you're using it against regular mobs. By combining the two together at low levels, you get a really powerful combination as has been demonstrated repeatedly by various shadows and rangers for the various races, for the shorter duration ones at least. In the first hour or so of a race, hands down, Poison Arrow and Fire Trap are the way to go initially, until you get to Act 2, when most of the things you're going to be encountering become resistant to chaos damage, which is what Poison Arrow mainly does. So hopefully with these changes, we'll see some people besides Poison Arrow, Fire Trap, Shadows reaching the top and placing first on the 1-hour race ladders. There are also, however, 5 skills receiving a damage boost, so there may be more options available at low levels that actually end up performing better than Poison Arrow and Fire Trap. We'll go with lightning damage. Crap. Oh, that's a wasted skill point. Yeah, if you've ever had something like that happen to you, it sucks. Fortunately, Grinding Gear Games is adding a passive skill point confirmation, which will make it so that in order to spend a skill point, you will have to hit confirm. So if you make a mistake and spend it on the wrong thing, you might really have done something wrong, or you just happen to have gotten attacked while trying to spend a skill point in, say, a hardcore race and you don't want to die. So there's some positives and negatives to that change, but at least you won't have wasted skill points accidentally. The Duelist skill tree is going to be seeing some changes near the starting nodes. Right now, the Duelist is generally considered the weakest as far as a starting point in the passive skill tree. Oftentimes, you can be better off starting as a Ranger or Marauder and get most of the same big skills pretty easily, like Blood Magic, Iron Reflexes, Unwavering Stance, things like that. They're not really too far out from either Ranger or Marauder. So a lot of the Duelist beginning tree, there's a ton crammed in. It's almost as if they're meant to be a weapon master, like be able to use all weapons. You have some dual wielding, ranged abilities, one-handed, two-handed, and shield stuff. It's all crammed into this one little tight spot. And you very quickly end up to a point where it's like, yeah, you get all this nice stuff, but you kind of end up, it's like, oh, so I'm going to use two-handed, so all this shield stuff, this two-handed, or this one-handed, ranged, one-handed, wherever it is in the tree, it's all pretty useless. So hopefully the upcoming changes to the tree will make it a little easier to get what you want without having a ton of wasted stuff near your starting nodes. Some other upcoming changes include a new skill for monsters, various NPC voiceover changes, most notably in Act 1. Lion and beast mobs have new sound effects. There's a new 3 vs 3 PvP map. Level 78 and 79 item mods have been added. Endgame maps have had some changes to variants and pack sizes. This should have a decent effect on the pacing of maps. Some new security features are being worked on, as well as client performance improvements for skill effects, especially when dealing with large parties, and also for desync. Patch 0.10.2 is due out March 6th or 7th. Be sure to watch out for it. As a bit of a sneak peek for patch 0.10.3, Grinding Gear Games has stated that the next ability will be an Area of Effect melee skill. Thanks for watching the Path of Exile patch 0.10.2 overview. Feel free to comment, rate, and/or subscribe, and have a great day.